Hi, this is Alice Bull from scraphappy.org with a scrapbooking process video for you today. This is the layout I made for day 7 of the LOAD challenge, LOAD219 Ruby Red Scissors. Our inspiration for this day actually came from the ruby red slippers, and we had to scrap about a favorite wardrobe accessory or outfit. And for a technique, you might want to use red and sparkle on your layout. I started by gathering my supplies and I thought I was going to use white paper on the background. Of course, I grabbed some red glitter paper and I found this really fun femme fatale paper collection from Recollections. Then I grabbed my photos. I did like a little grid of pictures of myself wearing a lip gloss because I love lip gloss and I have lip gloss everywhere, and I thought it'd be really fun to make a playful page that talked about my obsession with lip gloss. And as you can see, I have a whole bowl of lip gloss just sitting on my scrap desk at all times. So I started by measuring the corners and I was going to cut the corner into a bit of a triangle. And that worked really good. And of course, this layout is pretty relaxed and casual. Some of my layouts have deeper meaning, but sometimes it's just nice to record these little quirky bits of yourself and put those into a fun scrapbook page. And I knew that talking about lip balm and lip gloss on a page wasn't really a deep meaning kind of project, but it was going to give me a lot of availability to play and create. So you can see with that femme fatale paper, I've obviously used some of it before, and I found this lip paper and it has hot pink lips all over it, and they're kind of glossy and shiny as well, sparkly. And I decided to do like the red sparkle in the one corner and the hot lips up in the other corner. So I got that part of the page ready too. And if you wanted to add triangle corners into your layout, the dimensions that I used was actually 5 inches in from the corner for each of the ones. So I measured 5 inches along both the sides, and then I cut in between those two little dots that I drew. And that worked out really good for those little corner sizes. Next, I decided to mat the different pictures. So the picture with the bowl of the lip gloss I matted with the ruby red sparkles, and the other picture I decided to matte with the hot lips. And now I decided to see how I was going to place my title on the page, so I grabbed my thickers and start laying them out on the edge of my ruler. I had 2 different kinds of thickers that I wanted to use on the page. The one set is hot pink, which matches those lips perfectly, and they're called Eclair. They're glitter foam stickers. And then the other set is some white ones called Shoebox, and they're just white and glitter. So lots of glitter on this page. As I was trying to figure out where this title was going to go and how it was really going to look on the page, I decided that it wasn't going to really pop off the page with that white background. So something was going to have to change. So I took a little peek through the book and look at the paper that I found. It is embossed kissy lips, and it is just so perfect. I'm like, oh my goodness. I didn't even know that was in there. And when I found it, I was like, score. I was so excited. Oh yeah, you can see my little happy clap. Next, I get the white shoebox letters ready, and that's going to say lips on it. So I have Luscious Lips. And when that was done, it was time to start thinking about any extra embellishments I wanted to add to this page. When I make layouts for the Layout a Day challenge, I always find myself going through things in my stash that I haven't seen for a long time. I happened to come across this embellishment pack from Lil Davis, and it's like doodle hearts or something. So they're chipboard pieces, and they're kind of raw chipboard. So obviously that's not the look I want to go for on this really glam page, but I figured I could do something with those pieces, and I really like the look of them. But before I played with that, I thought it would be a good idea for me to add some in journaling at this point, because I kind of knew what I wanted to say, and I thought, well, I better get that down before I forget. And I almost never type my journaling, but here's the deal. I wanted to do my journaling in white letters on a black background. And yes, I do have a Jelly Roll pen, which has become my new favorite white pen for writing on black paper. But I thought I'll get a much better, cleaner look. It'll look a little more glamorous if I actually type. So I pulled out my computer and I made a black background on like a word processing document and just typed my text into that box. And it was really easy. I just was using Pages on my Mac, and I can resize that square and make it exactly the size that I want. And then I remembered that my printer is not super friendly in printing with the Pages app when I want like that super crisp black look. So in the end, what I did was a fun little trick. I made it nice and large on the screen, so it looked really good. And then I took a screen capture of the journaling, and I put that screen capture picture into my photos section. And from the photos, I was able to print that out, and it looked really good. So, it was a bit of a workaround, but it worked. I made it happen. So that was great. Next, I set myself up with some embossing powder and my Versamark pad, and I just pressed those chipboard pieces into the Versamark ink. I laid it in the tray and poured my black embossing powder over top. I have some kind of reverse kind of tweezers where you squeeze them and then they open, so they're really great for holding on to pieces because when you relax your tweezers, they're actually holding the object tightly. So I pick those up with that, knock off the extra powder, and then get to embossing the pieces. And I just did the one top piece for in the corner and the piece for in the bottom corner as well. The journaling piece printed off great and it looked good. So when that was ready, it was time to kind of put the layout together and get the bones of it put together. I started sticking some of the pieces of the layout together. I used glue dots, tape runner, I used paper tape, and I used some foam tape. Did I use foam tape on this one? Yes, of course I used some foam tape. You'll see it later. I also used liquid glass to secure any of the chunky embellishments like the letters and the chipboard. Then I decide that my pictures actually need something to kind of mat them to keep them from kind of floating around on the layout. So I look back in that Femme Fatale paper pack because I've been so successful looking in there so far. And that's where I found this kind of gray, a little bit grungy looking background, but most of it's covered up. So really it was just adding a little bit of texture and not too much grunge. So here's one of those funny things where if you're watching closely, you'll actually see me cut this gray mat a couple of times. Now I'm just leaving my options open. So the first time I cut it like a total square. And then I decide, no, I've left a little bit too much space on different sides of it because my pictures themselves aren't square. And I'm not going to need the room to leave for journaling. However, I may want to leave a little extra space around the edges where my embellishments can layer. After digging through my stash again, I find a set of stickers from We Are Memory Keepers called Urban Chic. Now, they're pretty old. They've been in my stash for quite some time, but I found a few little pieces on there that were going to be perfect for this layout, and I was excited because there was actually a little pink lipstick on there. There was the words Love It on there, and then I did find little XOXO embellishment words too, so that all made it onto the layout. So once I added the title letters to the page and made sure everything was stuck down, then this page was done. Well, almost done. I decided that I needed just a little shot of that red glitter paper up near the top of the layout because there was little elements of pink that were brought down to the bottom, and so I added a little red glitter heart up there. Okay, so now it's done. So that's it. My layout inspired by the Wizard of Oz and the ruby red slippers is complete. Have you ever participated in the Layout a Day challenge, or have you used a movie or some other theme like that to inspire one of your layouts? I'd love to hear about it, so please leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you hit that notification bell, you'll actually get a notification every time I post up a new video, which includes process videos just like this one. And you can always find more about the ScrapHappy membership and the Layout a Day challenge at scraphappy.org. Thanks for watching. Happy scrapping!